Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. My name's Justin Griffin. I'm with More Than a Statistic here at Knoxville, Tennessee. I have 11 years clean, thanks to God. And with me, I have a special guest through Jessica Birch's video. Miss Frederica here started following my podcast. So in return, I clicked on hers to follow her back. And Frederica, the first time I'll never forget when I seen Quay's picture, and it just hit me because I was like, oh, he's so young, and it really broke my heart. And I don't want this to sound bad, but like to me, drug use, I thought that was a white person problem. Does that make sense? Like I never thought outside of my race. It seemed like that this stuff is what white people got into, unfortunately. And I hope that there's no disrespect in that. I really don't mean it. But it broke my heart to see him, and then I watched you talk at that church in Atlanta, and I was like, wow, this girl, I wish I could speak like she speaks. And I seen the glow about you and how passionate you are about spreading the word. So I just like to say thank you for being on here with me.
Thank you for
And
having me.
I'm interested in you. You're going to speak on a subject I don't think we've talked about. We've talked a lot about fentanyl, but I'm going to let you kind of go over the other stuff and what you dealt with. And if that's okay, I'll just pass it over to you and let you take off with it.
All right. Well, I'm Frederica Roberson. As Justin has introduced me, um, my son passed away April 1st of last year. He took his last breath in my arms. And 4 months after he passed, I originally thought he had passed away due to fentanyl. And I learned 4 months after he had passed that he had passed from nitazene. Some say nitazene, nitazene. But nitazene is something that's 40 times stronger than fentanyl and 800 times stronger than morphine. And Quay ended up being the first confirmed death in Gwinnett County.
Mm,
So,
sorry for that.
you know, how I found out was like ironic because since Quay's passing, I have joined every group that I could to learn more about fentanyl and all these things. And I'm actually sit on a panel now of the opioid coalition here in Gwinnett County. And I remember prior to me finding out that we were having this meeting and they were saying we had our first confirmed death in Gwinnett County from nitazene. So after this meeting, man, I went on a research spasm. I was researching nitazene everywhere, putting out information about it on the foundation page, on YouTube, on TikTok. And the next week, I'll go to court because two young ladies were arrested for his death and charged with felony murder. So when I go to court, and one of the young ladies is trying to get a bond, and the DA hit the judge with, well, he didn't die from fentanyl, he died from nitazene. And it all clicked in the courtroom that day. I was like, wow, my baby was that confirmed death. And so it made me want to go even harder. Um, it took 4 months for me to find out because my coroner sent it to the GBI. The GBI couldn't figure out what it was, so they sent it off to several different states. And it was Arkansas that came back with the results for it. And it's like, wow, that's a problem in itself. How
Sure.
many more have passed away from nitazene that they said was a fentanyl overdose?
Hmm.
So that means the numbers is incorrect. And instantly I start advocating for that portion now. And I'm actually trying to write up a law to present to Georgia's Senate and House of Representatives for Quay's law. We need a law basically for more testing for the medical examiners, some awareness tools for the community, and also we need a revision of either Austin's law or implemented in the Quay's law that it shouldn't just be specific to fentanyl. It should be fentanyl and other synthetic opioids
Mhm.
where they can charge people with that law and punish them with a minimum of 20 years. Because, I mean, so many things went wrong with this, but somebody has to be the first.
Yeah, that's right. Um, So I was looking up into the nitazene. I was kind of trying to research before talking to you about it, and I didn't realize there's four different kinds of it. I can't recall it off the top of my head, but there was four different kinds, and that's what they said was that a major problem is misdiagnosing with this, and
Yes.
or missing it altogether. It said that a lot of the tests they do sometimes it doesn't even have that panel. Here in Knoxville, we're dealing with something that's new. It's some kind of chloride. I looked into it. It's not even a synthetic opioid or anything. It come back as a contaminant and an adulterant.
Wow.
So, and there's already been 18 people in Knoxville died from that. They're saying it's about 150 times stronger than fentanyl is.
Jesus.
And that's what it just blows my mind that we're to this point of like I hate to be like this, but when I was in active addiction, at least I knew what I was getting. Like it wasn't safe, but it wasn't like it is today, you know?
Exactly.
And I did a statistic and they said now that one out of every two street, if you buy it from the street, one out of every two pills is pressed with fentanyl, nitazene, or some other adulterant in it.
Wow.
Yeah. Um, let's see. If, let's say, let me ask you if there's a mother on here that's gone through it recently, and they're still in the struggle. What's some of the things that helped you? That you seem so strong about it now, and I'm sure that every day is not like that because I understand how that is. But when I see you, I see a strong woman standing there, refusing to let him be forgotten. First off, and like I said, it's just your words you speak so elegantly, and when I hear it I'm just like wow, like she really has this stuff and she's really going after it and I'm highly impressed. But like I said, if you're a mom going through it right now, I've been dealing with a lot of moms lately, and it seems like they're in a real big place of grief.
Yeah. Well, I my strength that you see is God,
Yep.
because I've never been this weak in my life, and I am very weak, but God gives me that strength every day. And I can't say it's nobody on this earth that I ran to more than him. Um, it's nights, yes, I do. It's like a roller coaster ride. You never know when it's gonna hit you. You just hold on tight and be in for the ride. But one thing that helps me is I cry. Some people hold it in and then it turns into anger and then it turns into guilt and then it turns into darkness. And I've also experienced several deaths in my life. I felt like for me, Quay set me free. I lost a mom, my grandmother, two aunts. My husband, Quay's father, was killed 20 years ago by the police.
Mm.
Um, and so that was the last of the things that I had not lost. And for me, it's been the best thing because the last 3 years of Quay's life, I felt like I was dead because the worry, the anxiety. And so I look at it differently a lot because of my faith. I mean, when I say I loved God before, but now he is my everything. I start my day with him. I end my day with him. I cry to him. I fuss him out just the way if I was fussing out anybody else. Like I built that relationship so strong that when I do want to fuss him out, I get it out. And it all boils back down to holding it in. You can't hold it in. You can't blame yourself. We shoulda, coulda, woulda done a lot of things. But what gave me the strength is I didn't want another parent to feel the pain that I felt when Quay took his last breath in my arms. That God shined his light on me with that right there in itself, because I look at, I go to these grief groups, I speak to other parents. They got a phone call. Their child was alone when they died. It was days before they knew their bodies didn't even look the same. They couldn't have funerals. So many things was taken from them. And I still have all those things because Quay took his last breath in my arms. He looked at me and I was working on him, and he was gagging, and he looked up, he laid his hand on my head, a tear rolled out, and he took that last breath. Man, I felt like that's the best thing God could have given me, because I don't know if I would have been strong enough to run this race, take the baton from him and run this race and save ones that struggle with him. But another thing, Quay let me in on his addiction. So I walked hand in hand with this child, where most parents, they don't need, they find out after the phone call that their child
Hmm.
was even involved in those things. But the biggest takeaway I say is lean on your faith. And I know that is one of the hardest things to do when you lost something that you birthed. And I say my faith is because God sacrificed his son for us.
Yeah.
And now I take that as I sacrifice my son so I can save others. And that's the reason why our tagline is saving one life at a time. Because Jesus left the 99 for the one.
Yep. Amen. Um, I really like that answer. It's a good answer because, that's the only reason why I made it out was that I found God. I grew up always knowing who God was. My mom kept me in church and stuff, but I realized in my rock bottom phase that I was wrong in that I wasn't saved. And that's where my relationship began, was right before I got clean with him. And just the creation that he took from me. I was on my way to death too. And I'm fortunate because I was before the fentanyl come. I was one of the fortunate drug addicts, and that's the only thing that got me through is, you know, God, it's me. I'm down and I need you. And, I didn't feel like telling everybody else. I didn't feel like troubling everybody else. I was really in the mindset of proving everybody wrong, that
Mhm.
people can come out of it. And just that walk, it slowly, I mean, it's taken every bit of the 12 years to get me to this point of sitting down and talking to you. Um, my catapult come from losing my mom and my father-in-law a week apart from cancer in Lewy body.
Mhm.
And my mom was my strength, and my father-in-law, he was a pastor for a church around here, and he was the one person in my life that I got to see almost sainthood from. Like, he was a real example of what a man of God's supposed to look like.
Mhm.
And having him guiding and constantly, he was the guy that I could always call and get the answer to what I was looking to. And once I lost him, it really set me back, because I was like, wow, now who do I talk to? So I fell back and I heard him say, you never need to talk to me in the first place. You got Jesus. And I've really, I'm not perfect and I do stuff wrong still. I'm not better than anybody else, but my relationship with God has gotten a lot better, and it's put me through this. I lost a really good friend, and that was the last catapult. Was, I've lost 33 people since 2014. That's either my friends or my family, and that's personal, like that's close, not counting the friends of friends. And the last one, I really sat back and I was like, why am I not doing anything except fussing about it? Why am I not doing anything except getting mad about it? And that was a big part of what this podcast came to be. Was, I wanted to show people all the different people that's gone through this walk. It's not just a white person problem like I thought years ago.
Oh,
It's not a young person. It's not a poor person thing. It's brothers, sisters, mothers, father. It happens to everybody. I mean, whether it be with alcohol, with my thing was prescription painkillers, and what's crazy now is I know addicts that seek fentanyl. Like they only want fentanyl, and to me the addict that's been clean almost 12 years, that's outrageous in my mind,
yeah,
and that's the disease of it.
yeah,
And that's what I'm trying to get people to understand is, what it is, who it can happen to, but I also want to teach the biggest thing is people don't know what to do and where to go. And that's
yeah,
why I'm really trying to highlight every one of your foundations, because I want people to say, oh, now I know who I'm going to call Frederica up and I'm going to talk to her because she knows about this.
yes,
And that's basically, I want one big encyclopedia by
yeah,
the time I'm done with this on whatever it is in recovery. It can be something silly, it can be something, very serious. And
yes,
I'd like a catalog. That's my end game is to have a catalog where people can just come and say, okay, this is the topic I'm after, or this is the foundation I'm looking for. So,
yeah.
do you want to kind of go into what your foundation does in the area?
Okay, so our mission basically, I made it very bold because I stand on it with my faith. We save lives through education. That's educating the community, um, advocating for new laws, bringing awareness, and also sitting with grieving families. Um, So I'm like a connector as well. If they come to me, matter of fact, this morning I had a young lady inbox me and was like, I need somewhere to go for my daughter. I need to know if they need to pay up front or do they need insurance and those type of things. Well, I have a catalog of places in Georgia who takes Medicaid, who don't take Medicaid, who takes private insurance, who takes TRICARE. I have a catalog of these places. And also I've started to build relationship with a lot of these recovery places to where I would like to get my foundation to the point where if it's about $1, call me. That's where the
Yeah.
funds are going to go. I'm going to be able to assist. If you can get them in tonight, how much will it cost? I want to be able to, if you need $1,500 right now, here's $1,500. Don't leave them behind. And I say that because, as I told you earlier, I went through the channel of the addiction with Quay. Well, prior to this day, Quay had been clean almost 3 months. And I had taken him down to his brother who graduated from West Point, and he was down at Fort Benning in Georgia. He had completed Ranger School and was doing airborne school. And I called him one night. I watched Quay run across a busy intersection and almost get hit by an 18-wheeler. And I said, I can't do this no more. But I can't let my baby be in the streets. And my other son was like, Mom, meet me in Noonan, bring him to me. And I took him down there and he had never seen his brother like that. He hear us talk about it, but every time his brother came home, Quay made us look so stupid. Like he was the cleanest person. He never tried a drug. He can just turn it off when his brother came around. And so he was down there with his brother and he cut his finger almost off on a blender. During this journey, he told the doctor, I don't want any pills because his drug of choice were Percocets. And so he took Tylenol and weathered that storm. Well, my other son got transferred to Fort Stewart in Savannah, and he could not get Quay back and forth to his doctor's appointments. And so Quay came home. He was home for 15 days. And the day before he passed away, I took him to the plastic surgeon to check on his finger because he had a pin still sticking out his finger and he was getting ready to start physical therapy. And we walked out that doctor's office, and Quay said, Mom, I got a craving. I have called 18 places, and they tell me our insurance is out of network and they need $10,000 in order for me to come in. He found one place around 4 o'clock in the evening, and they said, if you can get here by 5 o'clock, we'll do your detox. Well, we were an hour and a half away. We wouldn't have made it. So Quay scheduled an appointment April 1st at 10 o'clock. Quay was dead at 7:57 on April 1st. So I felt like the system failed him. And that's what the foundation would want to be. I want to be a blanket for that. It should never be about um, insurance or money. Fentanyl cases is like suicide. So that's suicide in a pill form, whatever form is coming in, it's suicide. And you have all these 24-hour suicide hotlines, and you'll take somebody in that said they're going to kill themselves. But if they call you and tell you their drug of choice is Percocet off the street, ding, 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 that's automatically a red flag that something's not right.
Yeah.
Um, Take them in, at least get them in for the 24 hours. He hasn't even done anything. And I think that's why he did pass away so easily, is because he was he was clean. And that next
Yeah.
hit is normally that worst one. But that's what I want to build this foundation as. And, I started this foundation just last year, June, and we became a 501c3 October the 14th. But the paper didn't stop me from doing the groundwork, because I've been building relationships everywhere I go. And I don't want to just limit it to Georgia. I want, like, with you all, I want somebody in Tennessee to be able to say, "Hey, Rika or Frederica, can you find us a place in Georgia, because Tennessee is home for them. That's their comfortability.
Yeah.
Can you refer us to somebody?" That's what I want to be able to do.
Amen. And that's why I really love everybody that's involved in this overdose awareness is, there's no boards, there's no CEOs making the shots, there's no politicians involved. It's people with out here that's either been affected by it or part of it themselves. And, they're out there doing this. And I'm with you. I feel like the system fails us a lot in multiple places, not just in this place, but it is wild that anything because it's the same here. I was fortunate to go to my rehab without insurance. I was fortunate to find one, but I know that's not a case for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Um, for instance, I have a friend that just had rotator cuff surgery, and they wouldn't want to do it to him until he paid $2,000 up front, like just 2 days before. And it blows my mind. And that's where I get frustrated, and I've said that
Mhm.
before on the show, is when I look around and I see where the money, it's great that we get the money from the Sacklers and all that, but where's it going? Because I've not
Exactly.
seen it trickle down to where it needs to be.
Hmm.
What I'm learning is that everybody that's out here actually doing something is just a mom or a sister or a recovered addict themselves, and
Hmm.
it really blows my mind. I highly respect that y'all have gotten to the legislature and all that stuff. That's amazing to someone like me that's just running a small podcast, like
Yeah.
taking it to the state. And Desiree said something else about y'all have something in Lawrenceville that y'all just got done.
Um, we have um, we have the Partnership for Purpose coming up. We are about to launch one box here in Lawrenceville. We have a town hall. So one of our commissioner hold town halls, and it's student led. With the commissioner, he was a pharmacist in the army, and he does these town halls so we can get the insights from the children. So it's a lot of children out there that don't want to tell them to anyone or don't know what to do, but they also give us insight on how to come at the child.
Yeah.
So,
And that's a, as for me, my kid's 14, my oldest son is, and it's almost that time. He's very innocent. I'm fortunate that he's a very innocent child for 14 years old in this world.
mm-hmm,
But I do like the crazy thing was I grew up around brothers that were addicts and sisters that were addicts, and I watched from a young age what it did, but I still followed it, and that's the disease part. And that's why I believe it's in our DNA. Like it can be passed on. I'm 100% belief because I literally watched them burn the bridge and then I followed them down the bridge. And to me, that's crazy, that the disease is such a powerful thing. I said that the reason I started using was to quieten down the voices. And one day I realized they were all quiet, and the only one that I could hear anymore was the drug, you
Yeah.
know? And that's my point, that I'm trying to get people, they get their feelings hurt, it seems like, when the addict's being the addict, and
Mhm.
that guy wasn't who I am.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I just want to bring education to it. And that's my big thing. I aspire to do things like you guys do, that
Yes.
to really get out there and make laws and make differences. And I'm thankful to know you. I'm thankful to have been acquainted. And I'm really looking forward to the overdose awareness with you.
Man, I am too. I'm so ecstatic.
Yes, ma'am. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
No, but I would like to tell you keep doing what you're doing because the documentation means more than anything. For you can pull out that documentation and show addicts, parents, people in the community, it's someone like you everywhere. No matter if you are the addict or you are the parent or you just in the community and just brushing by. I mean, this shines light on this situation more than you know. So don't shortchange yourself. Give yourself credit where credit is due. It's not small, it's very big, especially to people like, especially me. Now, I can sit here and talk to you all day long, but I can't record myself for nothing.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
when,
it terrifies me. And that's what's hilarious. I say that I am terrified of public speaking. I'm terrified. I've never recorded myself speaking before I started the podcast. I didn't know how to do a podcast, but that goes to show that God does equip the called,
yes, he does.
because every little step, I've learned something, I've taken away from something, and we move on and we get better.
Yeah,
And I can't give this up. I've had a couple of people that tell me, you don't have to do one a week, or you blah blah blah, and I'm like, you guys don't understand what he's calling me to do. I was like, I have
yeah,
failed him so many times, and this is what he needs me to do. I was like, I'm not expecting y'all to understand, you
because
know.
it's not for
It
them.
it's not, and that's okay,
Yeah.
and they're supporters too. I'm thankful for
Mhm.
everybody, and I'm my goal to setting out was to get all these foundations linked with each other. Like, you follow me, I'll follow you. Your followers can be my followers can be your
Yes,
followers. A lot of people try to like act weird about followers sometimes, and they're
yes,
like,
they
no, these are
do.
my followers.
Yes,
And
a
it's
lot of
not about that.
gatekeeping.
Like, we're wasting time on that, I feel like.
Yeah,
And that's why I want to highlight everybody, because until I started this, my algorithm was not this at all. But
yeah,
now that I have, it's especially the drug epidemic walls and all that stuff. It's I realize we're losing a lot of time, and we're losing a lot of people, and I don't
yes.
understand like why it's not broadcast on the news every day, and
Don't
like
even.
I just don't understand it. So I figured that this would be my part. I'm getting to
Yes,
vent a little bit about it. I'm getting to learn a little bit about it as I go, and
yeah,
I'm getting to meet a lot of really good people. My
yeah.
circle's changed in the last 6 months, and I'm completely okay with that.
Mines have too. I've been in rooms I never thought I would have
Same.
been in. And I had to lose Quay in order to be in those rooms. I too, like you, I've been in dermatology for 26 years. When I say it was the love of my life, I fell in love with dermatology the first day. I literally told my job last week, I said, I don't know how long I'm going to be here because I found my purpose.
Yeah.
And advocating is that right there has struck a nerve down my bone and set
Hmm.
a fire on me like no other. And here lately, I've been writing songs. I dropped one today, matter of
Yeah,
fact.
I seen that. I've not had time yet, but I seen it, and I'm for it. I love it.
Yeah. And it's like I wouldn't have never done none of this. So
Mm-mm.
I'm also in school for a master's in psychology and mental health counseling. So I
Amazing.
can be able to counsel along the way without charging somebody an outrageous price or a price at all. So
Um,
what you're doing is amazing. And when the first time I clicked on your thing, I went through and watched every one of those videos. So just think, as parents out there that don't know about this world, that are clicking and watching and educating themselves through you.
that's amazing. Thank you for that.
You're
Yeah, because I
welcome.
do. I've been known to short sell myself.
Yeah,
So I do appreciate that.
you're welcome.
All right. If it's all right with you, I'm going to go ahead and end it here.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. It was great to meet you. Looking forward to meeting you in person coming up,
Yes, I'll
and
be
that'll
up
be
next month.
next month.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll try to be there.
Okay, but when we go down and look at the site on the it'll be on a Saturday, March 21st.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. All righty. Well,
All
until
right.
next time, thank you for
Until
coming
next
on.
time.